Hello and welcome back to the channel, and welcome to a beer that definitely, for me anyway, counts under Triannuary. This beer is from a brewery called DONZOKO. It is just called Weisse, so I assume it's a Weisse beer. It's 4.8%. It comes in this massive can. And to be honest, I'm just a little bit excited. Now, I was going to start this video saying this is from a Scottish brewery that for some reason I've never come across. For those who don't know, I spend quite a lot of time in Scotland and yeah, I'm familiar with a lot of the breweries. But this one, not so much. I then, as a result, tried to do some research on the brewery to give you some information about them. And then it came up that they were not actually in Leith, near Edinburgh, which is what it says on this can. It says on the can right here, made in Leith. And then they've got an address in the northeast of England. So, well, I'm confused, to say the least. But anyway, they're either from Hartlepool or they're from Edinburgh or outside of Edinburgh or neither of the above. I'm not really sure. But that doesn't really matter, does it? It's all about the beer. Now, unusually, I would not read the back of a can before a review, but I spotted one thing in big letters that I think we need to talk about before we open it. In order to do that, let us take a quick look at this can then. So, on the very front we have Weisse, DONZOKO, the logo in the DONZOKO in the middle there. Turn it round, we get their big D, so to speak, their logo. It's 500ml can, massive thing. And then we keep going around here, look. And the bit that I wanted to bring your attention to is just below the logo there. It says, let me bring it a bit closer, foamy beers for good times. Now, I'm not too sure what to make of that, if I'm honest. I suspect this is going to be, well, foamy. And when I went on their website, there were definitely some pictures of some, yeah, pretty excitable beers. Is this going to explode? I'm not really sure. It could be foam-tastic. But anyway, I like a Weisse beer. I like Scottish beer, which this appears to be. I guess we'll find out when we read a bit more info later. Let's get into it. It didn't explode. It's quite foamy. So I have poured this a bit short because I thought this might happen. The foam expanded, like expanding foam. So not the whole 500ml isn't quite in there yet, but we'll top it up in a mo. In the glass then, well, on camera it's looking deep orange, a little bit hazy. To me here now, actually it's more of a yellow hue, so I don't know, maybe it's the light I've got on it, maybe it's the camera, maybe it's a bit of both. But somewhere between lemon and marmalade is where it's sat. It's definitely hazy. It has got lots of carbonation, but it's really fine, tiny bubbles. You can barely see them, but there is quite a lot in there. As you can see, that big foamy head, well, doing quite literally what it said on the can. Yeah, looks Weisse beery, I guess. So let's find out what the aromas are saying. Very traditional Weisse beer aroma, quite yeasty, quite prickly, lemon, clove. It's what my dad would describe as dishwater. It's not. I like Weisse beer, but I understand the angle. It's smells quite fresh, smells quite sweet, but other than that, not a great deal. The aroma is quite subdued on this beer. Could be due to the 3 feet of foam sat on top of it, but anyway, it is what it is. Let's get into it. Cheers. That's a solid Weisse beer. It is. That's good. That's really good. I mean, I said the aroma was subtle. The flavours are too a bit, but what does come through, sweet, bit citrusy, refreshing, and a really, really solid, nice biscuity malt base that it's a bit like a lemon meringue pie, this. Absolutely lovely. Now, it's not without its issues. I'll be honest, it's maybe not quite as carbonated as I'd have thought it would be for the style. It's a little flat. As I said, there's some flavours are quality, but maybe a little subdued. And, well, mouthfeel. To call it thin, I feel might be doing it a bit of a disservice, but it could be improved a touch. Right then, I'm going to top this up and then we can do a top to bottom taste test. A little bit sweet, a little bit mildly acidic on the front of the tongue, and then that goes into I don't know, because that was all foam, if I'm honest. It's citrusy, but there's no bitterness to it. It's very soft, very pillowy, quite... It is sweet, but again, it's not sickly. It's just got an impression of the flavours, but without any extremes. It's inevitably very well balanced, but also maybe just a touch washed out. And as it gets towards the back of the tongue, actually you do start to get a bit of prickly bitterness, a little bit of sharp lemon, almost lime, to be honest. Lime's probably a better descriptor for this beer. And, well, the treat really here is in the aftertaste, because you get a nice clean cut lime citrus all the way through. Again, quite subdued, quite subtle, but enjoyable, and then delicious, delicious biscuity malt that, well, to be honest, I'm going to hold my hands up. If a brewery can deliver that biscuity malt flavour in a beer, it kind of doesn't matter how good or bad the rest of the beer is, because for me, I just love it. It's just so enjoyable at the end there. It's refreshing, but it's got rich notes, it's got spicy, a little bit notes because of the clove, although there's not that strong, and it's got a lot going on, but all really dialed down. And I know I keep saying it, and it sounds like a criticism, and for some it probably will be a valid criticism, but I'm actually really, really digging this. It comes in 500ml cans. You could get through quite a few of these in one sitting, if I'm honest, and whilst it might not be the pinnacle of Weisse beer, it's pretty sensational for a UK effort. So, not really complaining, I'll be honest. Right then, let's take a look at the can, see if we can work out where this is actually from. So, on the front of the can, DONZOKO Brewing Company, Weisse, made in Leith, as we said, which we believe to be in Scotland, but there is some confusion. 4.8%. Again, it says wheat beer, made in Leith. 2.4 UK units in this massive 500ml can. Normal drinkerware stuff. They are at DONZOKO Beer on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, donzoko.co.uk, email address, all that stuff. Foamy beers for good times. I don't dislike foamy beers. It's an interesting statement to put on your beer can, but that's fine. It says store and serve cold, which I did. Vegan friendly. It was canned. It gives canned on and best before dates, which I am a big fan of. And they were canned on the 15th of December last year. Now it's the 9th of January, so it's not a month old yet, and it's best before the 15th of August this year. So it's pretty damn fresh. It does say brewed and canned by DONZOKO Brewing Company Limited, 13 Jane Street, Leith, Edinburgh, UK. So this is Scottish. There is no doubt this was made in Scotland. I don't know what's going on with the business. Maybe they moved. I don't know. But well, my initial reaction was correct. This is now, at least, a Scottish brewery I was unaware of. So thumbs up. And yes, absolutely stunning. It's got the ingredients, nothing we wouldn't expect. It's just water, malted barley, wheat, hops and yeast, being a wheat beer. The design of the can, which is very nice, by the way, has to be said, is by an Instagram user called Sean, spelled SEAN.H.Edgar. Sean H. Edgar. And you can grab more cans at donzoko.co.uk. That... yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, this wasn't cheap. I went to a very premium, let's call it, bottle shop in Nottingham to buy this. I don't know what the costing's like for the rest of the country. I don't feel ripped off by any means. And it was a big can. The beer's quality, yes, it's a little bit subdued, but hey, there's really nothing not to like about this. That is spot on. So that, I think, is all I've got to say about it. So as always, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. If you haven't already subscribed, if you will be so kind, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.